speed now on their qualifying laps are this trio of drivers. Glazer goes up to the second spot. Checkered flag is out. Glazer going to be, actually Christopher Hurt going to be fastest. Mullen's going to be second. Glazer is third, and Stephen Midford is fourth. So Christopher Hurt, the fastest driver. Next group up onto the speedway, Craig Pellegrini in car number 27C, the Crazy Kid, and Dakota Kessler in the number 449. Only two drivers able to make it out of this group. Christopher Hurt has an 8.809. Well, Dakota Kessler just bumped Craig Pellegrini, just went fastest. Then Dakota Kessler just bumped him. So right now, Kessler is atop the speed charts. They are going back and forth here, lap after lap, these two are. And Dakota Kessler going to be the fastest, 8.525. Dakota Kessler. We've got 6 cars in. We welcome those of you joining us on our Facebook live stream as well, as we are setting the table for the Napa Auto Parts Atlantic City Indoor Midget Car Race. This is TQ qualifying, and this is going to set the lineups for 6 heat races that are coming up at the top of the program here tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. Up onto the speedway next, the number 28 of Zach Asklar and the 08 of Corey Grenzy. Corey Grenzy in the 08 machine. That's Joe Toth in the 711. Joe Toth in the 711, a 5-time sportsman champion during the 2022 season. Toth jumps up to 3rd spot on his first lap, stays in the 3rd spot. Oh, and he loops it in turn number 2. Joe Toth gets the wrong way around, gassed it up coming out of turn number 2. Spun that car, it swapped ends on him, didn't hook into anything solid, so hopefully he'll be able to get that car fired back off with minimal amounts of damage. Again, we do welcome those of you here in the historic Boardwalk Hall and those of you joining us on our Facebook Live program, those of you not in attendance here, or those of you in attendance here, if you want to have the stream, it's DirtTrackDigest.tv. DirtTrackDigest.tv is the pay-per-view stream, and you can get that racing programs tonight at 7:30, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We would love to have you join us here at this Boardwalk Hall, but if not, we would love to have you join us on Dirt Track Digest, as they do a wonderful job with their coverage. We're back to green flag conditions. In fact, the checkered flag is out. Corey Grenzy going to end up 2nd fastest behind Dakota Kessler, and Joe Toth going to go 4th fastest overall. Next group, rolling to the speedway. It is the 02 of Charlie Schultz. Charlie Schultz in the 02. The number 28 is Zach Asklar in the 28. And it looks like the number 24 of Kyle Irvay. Kyle Irvay, one of our great graduates from the Slingshot ranks. Good to have Kyle jumping up into the TQ ranks here this season as he gets his feet wet in TQ racing. Time trials will set the heat race lineups tonight. There will be a 3-car inversion in each of the 6 heat races, so the driver that qualifies 18th fastest will be on the pole in the first heat. And we will do the full inversion on that. Zach Asklar goes to the top of the speed chart. Zach Asklar is fastest at 8.545. Dakota Kessler 2nd. Kyle Irvay is 3rd. Ryan Tidman in the number 83 car, the next driver up on the speedway. There's Zach Beeler in the 44, and from up in Lockport, New York, the Reed's number 9 of Jonathan Reed. Jonathan Reed up on the racetrack as well. Going to get their qualifying session started, and green flag is out, as we will see how these drivers stack up. Tidman picked up the win late last year at the Wall Stadium Turkey Derby. How about Zach Beeler jumps up to the top? Zach Beeler in that 44B car goes quickest. Beeler at 8.609. He actually got quicker on his last lap. So Zach Beeler, Zach Asklar, Dakota Kessler, your top 3. There's Ryan Susi in the number 25. There's Derek Robbie in the 34. And that beautiful number 16 of Casey Jedrzejek in the number 16 car. This is group number 7. Group number 7 of 18 groups. Ryan Susie goes to the top. Ryan Susie in that Dayglow number 25 car. We'll see if he can go faster. He does, just a little bit faster. So it's Susie, Zach Beeler, Zach Asklar, Dakota Kessler, and Jonathan Reed. The lineup for qualifying is based on the final speed in the practice session earlier today. So the cars will get progressively faster based on that practice session. Andrew Moeller in the number 35. There's Billy the Kid's kid, Billy Pouch in the number 98, and Tyler Ferris in the number 7 car. So making their way around the speedway. Billy Pouch Jr. up to second fastest. He gets bumped to third by Tyler Ferris. Ferris now second fastest behind Ryan Susie. Checkered flag is out, and Andrew Moeller goes quick time. Moeller goes quick. Well, Tyler Ferris says, I'll see you and raise you. Tyler Ferris goes to the top at 8.344. Andrew Muller, second, Ryan Susie, Billy Pouch Jr., and Zach Beeler. Next up onto the speedway, the Kunkletown Kid, the number 43, that's Ryan Smith. The number 98, and Matt Roselli out on the racetrack. Only 2 drivers in this group able to make it out, as Mike Christopher not able to make it out onto the speedway. So we'll see how these 2 drivers fare. They're all shooting for Tyler Ferris's mark. Matt Roselli quickly jumps up to third fastest. And yellow flag is out. We've got one the wrong way around down here. The Kunkletown Kid, Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith, of course, you follow him if you follow motorsports, a great sprint car racer. Has a World of Outlaw win up at Port Royal a couple of years back and has been running his own program as a sprint car racer goes. Has a big history here as a 2-time winner in Slingshots here at Boardwalk Hall. Has some great runs, 3 top 5 finishes in TQ racing, but it's been a while. It's been a minute since he's been here, but it's good to have Ryan Smith back behind the wheel, and we'll see how he fares this weekend here with not 1 but 2 Gamblers Classics on the line here at the Boardwalk Hall. Roselli's going to be the fastest of those 2. Third fastest, Ryan Smith going to be 7th fastest. Next up onto the speedway is the number 3 machine, the 3W of Dylan Woodring. Dylan Woodring in the number 3. There's Ryan Bartlett in the number 93, and Jeremy Hodgecourt. Jeremy Hodgecourt in the number 39. Again, those watching on Facebook Live, DirtTrackDigest.tv is where you can go to get the subscription for tonight and tomorrow night. We've got a full program tonight with 1 Gamblers Classic. This is the Makeup Gamblers Classic from 2021. And then we'll come right back tomorrow night with another whole program for the TQs, and we'll crown champions in all divisions here in the Indoor Auto Racing Tour for this season. Jeremy Hodgecourt of this trio goes the 2nd fastest, so Hodgecourt is 2nd. Tyler Ferris is the fastest. Hodgecourt is 2nd fastest. Andrew Muller is 3rd. The first of 4 Catalanos onto the racetrack, Timmy Catalano in the 45. There's the straight shooter, Scott Kruder, our reigning Bell 4 TQ champion in the number 49, and Nick Latiga in the 38 CT. Nick Latiga in the 38 CT. So Kruder was fastest up in Allentown for round number 1 of the indoor auto racing. So we'll see if Kruder can continue with a quick time, and in fact he does. He goes right to the top of the speed chart. Scott Kruder goes quick time, 8.193. Scott Kruder the fastest. Tyler Ferris, Jeremy Hodgecourt, Andrew Muller, Matt Roselli. Next group, another one of the Catalanos. There is Trevor Catalano in the 56. There's Tyler Catalano in the 64. And there's Nick Latiga in car number 38. We had Nick on that last group, and missed it was Andrew Nye in that last group. Scott Kruder is set the mark that everyone will be shooting at. Nick Latiga goes 3rd fastest in that number 38 car. Trevor Catalano goes to second fastest. Trevor Catalano, let's see, he is 1, 2, 3, third in line of the Catalanos by age. He goes second fastest. Next group up onto the speedway, the Blue Mets. Number 33 of Tyler Wagner. Tyler Wagner in the number 33. There's Steve Kemery in the number 69 car. And there is the reigning champ of the Gamblers Classic, Timmy B, Tim Buckwalter, in the number 74. Tim Buckwalter in the 74 won this race 1 year ago. And they've got them all wound up. Tyler Wagner jumps up to second fastest. Tyler Wagner in that Blue Mets number 33 car goes second fastest. There's the checkered flag. Buckwalter going to be, well, Buckwalter jumps to second on his final lap. So Buckwalter second, Wagner third, and Steve Kemery in that group ninth fastest. Next group out on the speedway, Matt Janis in car number 2, Tyler Thompson in the number 98, and the 1B is Joe Bailey, the 1B of Joe Bailey. Bailey in that Lenny and Donna Boyd historic 1B car, the 25-year-old racer out of Monroe Township, New Jersey, but he resides in New York City. He's an engineer, doesn't live too far from Central Park. And so Joe Bailey in that car, going to drop into line. We'll see where Bailey goes. He goes ninth fastest. Matt Janis is fastest in that group. He is second now behind Scott Kruder. Matt Janis, second fastest. The number 13 machine, or the 19 of Anthony Payne, the number 22 of Eric Rudolph, and there's the 51 of Sean Nye out on the racetrack. This is group number 15 of 18, so we are getting down to it right now. Sean Nye goes second fastest. Sean Nye in that 51 car goes second fastest. We'll see if he's got more. He gasses it up off from turn number 4. Going to stay there, but Eric Rudolph goes to the top. New man atop the pile, it's Eric Rudolph. And Rudolph goes an 8.189 on his second lap. That is the fastest. Scott Kruder going to be second. Now Sean Nye is third. Matt Janis, Tim Buckwalter, your top 5. Next group up onto the speedway, the number 46, Tyler Lindsay. Tyler Lindsay, there's the number 89 of Matt Swan. Oh, Lindsay goes around in turn number 1. We got Chad Jones in the number 28. So the yellow shirt's going to go out and make an attempt to get Lindsay. He hooked into those inside tire barriers, and that car spun around. Again, if you are here in Boardwalk Hall, we're so glad you joined us this weekend. We have got a thrilling night of racing here tonight and another one tomorrow. If you are joining us on our Facebook live look-in, DirtTrackDigest.tv is where you need to go for the pay-per-view for tonight, DirtTrackDigest.tv, and then load everything in the car and get out here tomorrow and join us for the second half of the Double Down Gamblers Classic weekend here at the famous Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's always one of the more fun weekends of the year. Was talking to NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Preece on the way up here. We were on the same plane, and Ryan's like, this is the best 3 days of the year. He loves coming up here, and if you have never made it to Boardwalk Hall for one of these Gamblers Classics, you need to do 2 things. You need to get here, and you need to plan on coming back, because once you come to this one, you're going to come back and keep coming back. This is one of the great auto racing events across the calendar year. Back up to speed we go with his 3 drivers. Chad Jones in the 28, Tyler Lindsay in the 46, and Matt Swanson in the 89. Right now, Swanson goes up to 5th fastest. Swanson jumps up to 5th fastest. Swanson going to stay 5th. The other driver's not able to crack into the top 5. Checkered flag is out. Chad Jones got it all crossed up coming out of turn number 2. Got a whole handful of steering wheel. That's group number 16. Eric Rudolph, Scott Kruder, Sean Nye, Tyler Lindsay, and Matt Swanson, your top 5. Little debris out on the racetrack here on the front straightaway. So, we got one of those grates coming back up. The Boardwalk Hall is actually below us is a parking garage. And so it's fascinating. There's vents and there's all kinds of different ways when you pull in. The first time I ever pulled into Boardwalk Hall, I parked right under one of those openings, and I couldn't believe it. The cars were going over, and it gives you this really, really unique sound effect. So it is a wonderful building, a fantastic building, and a lot of historic races have happened here. The fourth and final of the Catalanos, Tommy Catalano in the number 54, a three-time winner here of the Gamblers Classic. In the number 75 is Anthony Susley, and the number 8, Kyle Lick. Kyle Lick in car number 8 from Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. Eric Rudolph still fastest, keeping an eye on this one. Susley 8th fastest on his first lap. Susley jumps to 3rd. Susley jumps to 3rd. Let's see what he can do. He's passing it up off from turn number 4, hanging on to it. Wild last lap. While he was doing that, Tommy Catalano says, I'll take the 2nd spot. So Rudolph is 1st, Tommy Catalano is 2nd, Kruder is 3rd, Susley's 4th, and Sean Nye. Here's the final group. Ryan Flores, a former winner here in Atlantic City. Briggs Danner looking for that first win. And a two-time Gamblers Classic champion, Andy Jankowiak, in car number 57X. These are the fastest 3 from practice earlier today. So we'll see if they take a shot here at Eric Rudolph and his fast time. White flag is out. Andy J jumps up to 6th fastest. Andy J to 6th fastest. Ryan Flores to the top, not for long. Briggs Danner. Briggs Danner on the last lap stole the top time. Briggs Danner sets quick time, 8.166. Here's your top 18. They will be in the front 3 starting spots. Oh, we got a couple more. That's right. We got a couple that missed their spot. They're getting 1 lap. These drivers missed their time in their allotted group, so they all get 1 lap of qualifying. Jeff Champagne in the number, we got Mike Christopher, Cole Mullen, and Jeff Champagne, the 3 drivers out on the racetrack. See if any of these drivers can jump up. And not able to jump up inside the top 10 at all. And I think that is it. I do not see $200 for fast time from Dr. Lowe, $300 for Dr. Lowe to Briggs Danner. We'll talk to Briggs in our pre-race ceremony here at about 7 o'clock, but Briggs Danner picks up $300 from Dr. Lowe. Here's your top drivers, 18. These drivers will be in the front 3 starting spots in each of the 6 heat races. Briggs Danner is 1st, Ryan Flores 2nd, Andy Jankowiak is 3rd, Eric Rudolph 4th, Tommy Catalano is 5th, Scott Kruder is 6th. Outside of the front row in the heat races will be Anthony Susley, Sean Nye, Kyle Lick, Tyler Lindsay, Matt Swanson, and Matt Janish. Those are the 3 drivers that are 7 through 12. They will start on the outside of the front row with the invert of 3. These are the 3 drivers who will have front row starting spots for their heat races. Timmy B, Tim Buckwalder, Tyler Wagner, Trevor Catalano, Tyler Ferris, Nick Latiga, and Jeremy Hodricourt will have a front row starting spot. It's a 3-car inversion. Those are your top 18 drivers, and those 18 drivers will start in the first 3 spots of the heat races that are coming up here in just a little bit. We're going to get reset here with some other lineups, and the other division's going to come out, but how about that? Dr. Lowe jumping in and giving away a pile of money. Briggs Danner going to take that money back to Allentown, Pennsylvania with the $300 from Dr. Lowe, picking up the quick time here in Atlantic City. 7:30 is when our showtime is tonight. Dirt Track Digest, you can get the full weekend for $64. Dirt Track Digest, get the full weekend. $64.99 is what it is for the weekend pass for Dirt Track Digest. I believe we've got Slingshots, if I'm not mistaken, coming up next. Next group of time trials going to come to the Speedway. Yeah, Slingshots will be up next. Got 43 Slingshots. Ay, ay, ay. 43 Slingshots. So the Slingshot's going to come out for their time trial run. Former Slingshot winners here at Atlantic City, or former Slingshot champions at Atlantic City. Brett Bieber was the 2022 champion. Scott Neary was the champion in 2020. Kurt Bettler, the champion back in 2019. The Slingshot champion in 2018 is Cody Klein. Danny Buckafuska was the champion in 2017, and Dan Spellman was the inaugural season of the Slingshots champion back in 2016. 43 Slingshots going to come out onto the Speedway. Slingshots, part of the program. Champ Karts, part of the program. Those are the three divisions if you followed indoor auto racing. That's what we've had. We've added the 600 Micros here to the program tonight. They've been fun to watch in their practice, as there's been a few of them that have had a whole handful of steering wheel, as they say, getting around this concrete oval. Slingshot's going to come out for their qualifying session. So getting things lined up for the Slingshots over here, this historic Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Oh, the stories this place can tell with motorsports, the stories this place can tell with other events, everything from college football bowl games to presidential conventions to Beatles concerts, to Lady Gaga. WrestleMania was here. Miss America has been presented here many, many times. Miss America been presented here. This building is just an absolute wonderful building, a neat building, and and the racing tradition, the racing history goes way back as well. So fascinating building, really neat. It's almost worth the trip to come down here just to see the building and stay for the races. And you would love getting a chance to check out this Boardwalk Hall. It is a wonderful place for sure. 43 Slingshots. Man, what a field of cars we have here in the Slingshots today. Holy cow. Slingshots have come out in full force, and they're going to roll out for their qualifying session. Track crews giving the once-over, keeping a keen eye on the racing surface here, giving it a once-over and making sure that everything is in good shape for the Slingshots to come out and do their qualifying session. Officials all getting back into their proper position. And the Slingshots are making their way out onto the speedway. Dustin Dangler, the driver change in the number 33. A driver change. Dustin Dangler picking up the driving chores. Late afternoon driver change in the number 23. 10.645 for Dustin Dangler. That's the mark that everyone will be shooting at his first lap. Dangler goes a little quicker on that second lap, 10.520. And that's where he'll stay. No, quicker, 10.399. So Dustin Dangler, driver change on that car, and picks up the ride. The number 55A is Cole Armstrong. Cole Armstrong, the 55A, the 17S is Faith Turnbaugh. Two drivers out in this group. Faith Turnbaugh and that number 55, and Cole Armstrong Cole Armstrong is in the 55A, and Faith Turner is in the purple or the orange number 17S. Dangler hangs out of the top spot. We'll see how these two fare. And Dustin Degler going to hang on to that top spot. Degler going to be fastest. Turnbaugh going to be second. Cole Armstrong third fastest of the three drivers thus far. Next group headed to the speedway, the number 29 of John Heberling, Morgan Rochelle Beeler in the number 4 car, and Danny Carlo in car number 77. Of course, Megan Rochelle Beeler in that number 4 car, the 2022 Miss Motorsports, just handed over the crown last week at Motorsports, and talked to her last night. She's going to focus more of her attention on racing, not only this Slingshot car, but some 600 micros. And we'll see how she does as she continues her driving career. Danny Carlo goes to second fastest. Morgan Rochelle goes up to third fastest. The checkered flag is out. And so Dustin Degler, last lap, Morgan Rochelle jumps to second. So Dustin Degler as your fastest, Morgan Rochelle, Danny Carlo, John Heberling, Faith Turnbaugh, and Cole Armstrong, your 6 drivers. Next group onto the speedway, the 115 of Bob Miller and the R1 of Chase Bixler. Chase Bixler in the R1. There's the number 95P of Lucas Pittenger in the number 95P. Green lights are on. Wiggles and giggles in the flag stand. That is the giggles portion of it. Nicole up there waving the silks. Boy, I'll tell you what, Dustin Degler jumped in that 33 car late and has set the mark for everybody to shoot at. Thus far, no one's been able to do it. Chase Bixler gets close. Chase Bixler, the R1, goes up to second fastest. Now Luke Pittenger goes to second fastest. Checkered flag is out. We'll see if Pittenger, he stays second fastest. So Dustin Degler, Lucas Pittenger, Chase Bixler, your top 3. Next group coming on to the speedway. There's the number 77. Chris Loray Paul Hartwig in the 77. Chris Loray in the 88S. Chris Loray in the 88S and Paul Hartwig in the 77P. Oh, we got one stopped over here. The 88 of Loray is stopped over here off turn number 4, so yellow flag is out. So the Loray car is in trouble over here in turn number 4. The yellow shirt's going to come out. Slingshots, what a division of cars this is. They race all around the region here, eastern Pennsylvania. Brainchild of Richie Tobias, and these cars have taken over in this area as a great affordable racing division, and they put on a show wherever they go. So if you're ever around eastern Pennsylvania and you see the Slingshots on the card, you need to make sure that you go check those out. One of their home tracks is Action Track USA. That's in Kutztown, PA, and they do Wednesday night racing there at Kutztown. And it is a great, great program with the 600 micros and the Slingshots and a couple other divisions of cars they have there. But it's a wonderful, wonderful event each and every week at Kutztown. And these Slingshots really, really have come onto their own. I remember years ago reading about it in Area Auto Racing News, and lover of the big block modifieds as I am, I love these cars. They're a takeoff, a look-alike of that, and they've just done a really nice job. Paul Hartwig, unfortunately, Paul Hartwig, the only car on the racetrack. Chris Loray having problems, and so they put that car on the skids. They're going to take him back to the work area. Hartwig bounces off turn number 2. That'll get your attention. Green lights are on. Now we'll see what Hartwig can do. 4th fastest on his first lap, 3-lap qualifying run. 4th fastest. He goes quick time. Paul Hartwig, 10.369. We'll see if he can go quicker. Here he comes off turn number 4. He's on it. And he does quicker. 10.338 for Paul Hartwig. That makes him the new quick time. The number 17T of PJ Bazowski. The number 42P of Mason Pittenger. And the 28J of Jimmy Spellman. Jimmy Spellman in the 28J. Up on the racetrack. Rolling through their qualifying session. This is group number 5 of 15 groups on tap for here today. Top 6 drivers in Slingshot qualifying will go right straight to the A main. The rest will run in the qualifiers later on tonight. So you're looking for a spot inside the top 6 if you're one of these Slingshot racers. Bazowski goes quick. Bazowski in that 17T goes quick time. Jimmy Spellman, Spellman goes to the top. 10.279, Jimmy Spellman on that final lap. PJ Bazowski, Paul Hartwig, Dustin Degler, and Luke Pittenger right now your top 5 drivers. The number 14 of Austin Krobuth. Austin Krobuth in the 14. There's the 67 of Charlene Benz, who's won a couple of Slingshot Junior Championships up at Snyderville. And the 16Z of Justin House. Justin House in the number 16Z. Green lights are on. The time they're shooting for, 10.279. Jimmy Spellman, 10.279. Thus far, nobody from this group getting close to it. We'll see what they do on their second lap. Charlene Benz goes 8th fastest. Justin House, the 16Z, goes 4th fastest. Here we come down to the checkered flag. All 3 running in a knot. And Justin House of this group going to be fastest at 4th fastest of the cars that have taken time thus far. 17 cars have taken time. 43 cars have entered the contest here tonight. Next group going to come onto the racetrack. Led by the number 3L of Nolan Laser. I think we're red flag conditions. I'm not sure if we've got some. Oh, there it is. Nolan Laser in the number 3L. Got the number 44 of A.J. Gerhardt. And the 395 of Jake Bettel. Jake Bettel in the number 395. This is group 7 of 15, so we're nearing the halfway mark here in Slingshot qualifying. Again, if you like what you're seeing here on our Facebook Live, look in. DirtTrackDigest.tv. You can get the whole weekend for $64.99. $64.99 gets you not 1 but 2 Gamblers Classics. We're going to give away a trophy and a crown tonight, and we're going to give away a trophy and a crown tomorrow night. Napa Auto Parts, Atlantic City Indoor Midget Car Race. A.J. Gerhardt, the number 44 car, goes quick time. 10.252. 10.252. So that number 44 car, quite the hot rod for A.J. Gerhardt. Out onto the speedway next. Got the the 00 of Ryan Raidline. Chris Darrow in the 88. And the number 78 of Grant Hilfiger. Grant Hilfiger in the number 78. Darrell goes 5th fastest on his first lap. Chris Darrell in that 88 goes 5th fastest on his first lap. And he stays in that 5th spot with the second lap in. Now the checkered flag is out. Drivers coming to the third lap. Grant Hilfiger, 8th fastest on lap number 2. Here they come to the checkered flag. Darrow going to stay in the 5th spot. So it's A.J. Gerhardt, Jimmy Spellman, P.J. Pozowski, Paul Hartwig, Chris Darrell. And again, top 6, that's Justin House. Top 6 locked right into tomorrow night's feature go. The number 12 of Brian Smith. The number 55 of Chris Kurtz in the 55. And there's the 6B of Brett Putnam. Brett Putnam in the number 6B. Brian Smith picked up the win round number 1 of this series up in Allentown. Brian Smith was the winner in Allentown. He's driving that number 12 car. So he'd like to get back to victory lane. Brett Putnam goes fast. Brett Putnam in the 6B goes fast. A.J. Gerhardt is second. Brian Smith up to third. So a couple into the top 3 there. That shuffles things up as far as those top 6 lock-in spots into tomorrow night's feature go. James Benz, a 3-time Snyderville champion in the number 68. Cody Blue in the 173. And Mark Moore in car number 20M. Mark Moore in the 20M car. Again, the time trial order is on the basis of practice speeds in the final practice session. So these cars, in theory, should be getting quicker. Cody Blue goes up to second fastest. Cody Blue up to second fastest. And Cody Blue goes to the top. The 173 car in turns 3 and 4 is the fastest car here so far. We'll see if he can better that. And he does not, but he stays atop. So Cody Blue is fastest. Brett Putnam is second. Well, Mark Moore goes to second on the last lap. Brett Putnam is third. James Benz from that group, fourth. So all 3 of those drivers in the top 4. Alex Reinsmith in the number 29A. Matthew Mertz in the 97. And the 46 of Mike Lepicki. Mike Lepicki in the number 46 car. Again, things are getting quicker among these drivers. This is group 11 of 15. Group 11 of 15, so we'll see how they fare. Lepicki jumps up to 4th on his second lap. Pretty good lap there for Lepicki. Checkered flag is out. And he is going to stay there in the 4th spot. So Cody Blue, Mark Moore, Brett Putnam, Mike Lepicki, James Benz, and Alex Reinsmith are your top 6. But we still have about 10 drivers left to go, and these are the 10 fastest from practice. Brian Preville in the number 51. There's the white and green number 74 of Jonathan Lowray. And the 66 of Cody Klein. Cody Klein, the 2018 indoor champion. So Cody Klein certainly knows his way around slingshot racing and racing here in Boardwalk Hall. And we'll see what he can do in this time trial run. Brett Putnam goes to, Preville goes to 5th. Preville goes to 5th. Klein jumps up to 3rd on lap number 2. Brian Preville, the 51, goes quick time. Brian Preville, 10.087. Cody Blue, Mark Moore. Well, Cody Klein jumps up to 2nd on his final lap. Cody Blue, Mark Moore, Brett Putnam, Mike Lepicki. That's your top 6. And we've got 7 drivers left to go. The number 42 of Simon Egan. The 27 of John Redner. And the 16 of Loudon Reimer. Green lights are on. 3-lap qualifying run for the Slingshots. Again, top 6 lock into the A main. The rest will be out later on tonight in qualifiers. John Redner goes quick in that yellow number 27. Redner, the yellow 27, the fastest driver in all the town right now. Redner's quick. Loudon Reimer is second fastest in that 16 car. And Reimert says, I'll see your quick time. Loudon Reimert goes quick, and he's still got another lap to go. Redner going to be second fastest. Reimert, lap number 2 is the fastest. Loudon Reimert, John Redner, Brian Preville, Cody Klein, Cody Blue, Mark Moore, your top 6. And then there were 4 more, but this is murderer's row, if you will, of slingshot racers. Brett Bieber, your reigning champ in the number 32. Scott Neary picked up the win at Allentown in the 5S. And Danny Spellman out on the racetrack. Going to try to get spots inside the top 6. Green lights are on. Who's it going to be? Getting locked into tomorrow night's A-Main. Who's going to be left to run in qualifiers tonight? Bieber says, I'll take a spot. He goes right to the top in that number 32. Brett Bieber, his quick time. Bieber stays at the top of the speed charts. The 5S of Scott Neary goes 4th. Neary goes 4th. Danny Spellman now 4th. So here's where we're at. We've got one more driver, Tyler Ulsh. Brett Bieber, Loudon Reimert, John Redner, Danny Spellman, and Scott Neary have locked into the top 6. Brian Preville or Tyler Ulsh will get that 6th, that other spot. Ulsh is on the gas, gets the green flag. Again, top 6 lock into tomorrow night's A-Main. The rest go to qualifiers later tonight. Here he comes. Not fast enough on the first lap, so Brian Preville takes a breath. Ulsh takes a breath down into turn number 3 and 4. White flag is out. We'll see what Tyler Ulsh can do here on the second lap. Not able to do anything. Preville's got one more lap to dodge to get locked into tomorrow night. Here comes Ulsh off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. And Tyler Ulsh not able to crack in. Not sure what was going on with Tyler Ulsh, but not able to crack in, that's for sure. So your 6 locked-in drivers to the A-Main. Brett Bieber is locked into tomorrow night's A-Main. Loudon Reimert, the 16R is locked in. John Redner in the 27 is locked in. Danny Spellman, 4th fastest, is locked in. Scott Neary, 5th fastest, is locked in the 5S. And Brian Preville gets that final lock-in spot for the cars in the Slingshot division. Action Track USA Slingshot division. So their time trials are over. Again, Dirt Track Digest is where you need to go for the pay-per-view coverage. If you're here in the arena and you have some friends or family that are not able to make it, tell them to go to dirttrackdigest.tv and get the order in. $64.99 gets you not one but 2 nights of racing action, 2 Gamblers Classics, a whole weekend of excitement right here from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Champ Carts are up next for their qualifying session. Our Dirt 600 cars are up next. Champ cars will be the final ones out. These drivers are all running just for starting position here. There's no invert. There's no lock-in. There's 14 of the 600 micros. 14 of the 600 micros here. This is the first time out for the 600 micros on the concrete. And pretty good reviews as far as the practice session goes. And a lot of buzz back in the pit area about more and more cars as we go further. Of course, the Trenton Indoor Dirt Race is coming up in a few weeks, and that's where a lot of these 600 micros were focusing their attention coming up at the end of February. Brendan Hires in the number 68. Dirt tracks his way off from turn number 4. We got the X1 of Jasper Zegfuse. Look at him dirt tracking. That's 68 of Hires. Sideways off turn number 2. Oh, bouncing. Tosses it into turn number 3. Brandon Hires. And Jasper Zegfuse. Checkered flag is out. Jasper going to be the quicker of the 2. Kept that car pointed a little straighter at 9.366. Brendan Hires, second fastest. Next group going to roll trackside. Looking for a little debris down here in turns 1 and 2. Track safety officials out. See a couple of them doing thumbs up. The track looks good. Again, coming up the final weekend of February in the Cure Arena in Trenton is the indoor micro race. It's been off the calendar since COVID. That last time, it was some spectacular racing, so you need to make sure you join us at the Cure Arena in Trenton the last weekend of... Whoa! We got trouble in turn number 3 as Jonathan Reed was bailing it off into turn number 3. Lewis Horvath was coming onto the racetrack. They about wadded a pair of them up. Jonathan Reed in the 9 car, Cole Kirkman in the 10K, and Lewis Horvath in the 1F. Out on the racetrack. Kirkman in that 10K goes quick time. Now Louis Horvath. Horvath in the number 1F is the fastest. Horvath is the fastest. Kyle Kirkman, second fastest. Jasper Zigafuse is third fastest. Jonathan Reed and Brendan Hires. It seems to me like the ones that are dirt tracking it and looking spectacular, they look spectacular, but their speeds are not what the drivers that tend to keep it in a little bit more of a straight line are. Next group going to roll trackside. Again, 14 drivers have entered this first ever run for the 600 micros on the concrete here at Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall. Those of you making your way to Atlantic City, 7:30 is our start time tonight. 7:30 is our start time tonight. Those of you looking at the Dirt Track Digest pay-per-view option, again, 7:30 will go with tonight's program. Sean Case in the number 9C. Got the number 97 of Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas in the number 97. Thomas really parks it sideways in the middle of 3 and 4. Case up to 5th fastest. Thomas is dirt tracking that car. It looks good, but he's 7th of 7 as far as speed goes, so gonna have to tighten her up, I think, a little bit. Attaboy. Tires squealing, elbows flailing. Ay, ay, ay. And he's 7th of 7. Louis Horvath, Kyle Kirkman, Jasper Zigafuse, Jonathan Reed, and then Sean Case jumped up to 5th spot in that group. We've got 5 more micros coming up onto the racetrack. Tyler Lindsay going to be the first driver out. Tyler Gunn and Eric Rudolph slated to go. Micro racing, 600 micro racing is spectacular. And what a hotbed of micro racing Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania is. Some great, great races as they run all over the region at some great racetracks. There's a micro speed week that's fantastic during the summer. And then it's the 24th and 25th coming up in February. These same 600 micros will be on the familiar dirt track, or a more familiar dirt track, the Cure Arena in Trenton, New Jersey. And would love to have you join us up in Trenton. That is a spectacular, spectacular race. Tyler Lindsay in the 46. There's Eric Rudolph in the 12R. And we got Tim Buckwalter in the 12B. It doesn't look like Tyler... Well, actually, Tyler Gunn makes the call. Doesn't look like Tyler Lindsay makes the call. Eric Rudolph jumps up to 5th fastest. Rudolph is the one in turns 3 and 4 now. Eric Rudolph across the stripe. Going to stay 6th fastest now as Timmy B, Tim Buckwalter. In the 12B, that's the second of the 12s. There goes Rudolph across the line. There goes Timmy B. Tim Buckwalter, second fastest. Louis Horvath, Tim Buckwalter, Tyler Gunn, Eric Rudolph, and Kyle Kirkman. And I think we've got one more left, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Kyle Lick, the driver from Catasauqua, Pennsylvania, in the number 8. Going to come out. We've got a number of our TQ drivers doing double duty and racing here in the 600 micro division as well. There's Kyle Lick. We'll see what he can do. 9.245 is the time he's shooting at. Louis Horvath has that in the 1F. These cars, we talk about them being a dirt track car. They're dirt track tires on the car. These cars have dirt track tires. I talked to Kyle during one of the break sessions here, and he said he goes quick time. Kyle Lick goes fastest. He says they sit up higher. The tires don't like to grip the racetrack. You got to change the braking systems on them. He said, but they're fun to watch. They're fun to drive. And so Kyle Lick, not only fun to drive, but he's going to set quick time. Kyle Lick, 8.966. Kyle Lick is your fastest driver. Louis Horvath, Tim Buckwalter, Tyler Gunn, and Eric Rudolph. And now we're down to the champ carts. And what a field of champ carts we have as well. 45 of these rascals. Top 5 go to the A main in this champ cart qualifying session. Top 5 go to the A main. Top 8 are going to the A main. Top 8 are going to the A main. The rest will be in qualifiers later on tonight. So top 8 go to the A main. It's going to be interesting. The champ carts have put on some great racing. You look at the champ carts, former champions. Jonathan Keister is the champion from 2022. Tyler Brown was the champion in 2020. Brandon Rusak was the champ in 2019. Cale Ross, a 2-time champion, 2018 and 2017. When we look at this season, we kicked it off round number 1 on Friday night up in Allentown. Mike Perry picked up the win. Very emotional win for Mike. Dedicated it to a friend that had passed, and it was really cool to see Mike Perry get the win. Round number 2, 2020 champ Tyler Brown picked up the victory up in Allentown in round number 2. 45 of the champ carts here today at Atlantic City. And the track crews making a minor adjustment on the racetrack here for the champ carts. Moving the infield tires in just a little bit. And again, top 8 will transfer right directly to the A main here tomorrow night. DirtTrackDigest.tv, if you're looking for a couple of nights of great entertainment. Tonight, we're going to crown a Gamblers Classic champion, and we're going to come right back and do it again tomorrow night. This is the makeup. Tonight is the makeup from 2021. So this will be the makeup race. We lost one back in 2021 during the COVID period of time, and this is that one tonight, and then tomorrow night, the Gamblers Classic for 2023 will be awarded. So twice the fun. Double down weekend here. Napa Auto Parts, Atlantic City indoor midget car race. It is the classic, the legendary race. Had a chance to talk to Andy J. and Kowiak about it up in Allentown. And he says, you know a race is good when it just stands alone. You won in TQs at Atlantic City, and that speaks volumes. And we are going to give away not one but 2. Andy J. is a 2-time winner here of the Gamblers Classic. And it is going to be outstanding to watch here tonight to see who gets the first one. And then tomorrow night we'll be right back with another complete program for the TQs. So those of you out and about, if you're within a day's travel time of Atlantic City, jump in the car, jump on a plane, and join us here tomorrow night. Atlantic City's a fun town. We'll all go over to Wild Wild West and have a cold frosty 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, well, we'll see where we stop with that. Go to Wild Wild West or all of the great casinos up and down the strip. Great hotels, great restaurants, some really, really neat stuff happening here in Atlantic City. If you haven't been in Atlantic City in a while, you need to get back here. Of course, the famed boardwalk, and right here along the boardwalk is the iconic Boardwalk Hall, home of indoor auto racing. The Gamblers Classic here tonight and tomorrow night here in Atlantic City. Champ Carts in the staging area getting ready to roll out on the racetrack for their qualifying run. Again, they are lined up in this qualifying run on the basis of practice speed, slowest to fastest. So progressively we will get to the quicker cars, at least on the basis of practice earlier on. Timeline for the rest of this evening: grandstand gates open here at Boardwalk Hall in about 35 minutes. So grandstands do open at 6 o'clock. We will get into opening ceremonies at about 7:25, and we go racing at 7:30 here tonight. Big night of racing. We've got TQ heat races. We got qualifiers for the champ carts. We got micro heat races. We've got a couple last chance qualifying races for the TQs. Slingshots have their qualifiers, and then we will wrap it up with the 2021 Gamblers Classic 40 laps and the coveted Gamblers Classic trophy on the line here tonight for the TQs. The Belfour Restoration Property TQ Midgets. This is round number 2 of the 3-round championship series. Tomorrow night at the conclusion, we'll not only crown a champion here in Atlantic City as far as the Gamblers Classic goes, but we'll also crown the Belfour Property Restoration champion for the TQ Midgets for the 2023 season, as that will wrap up our season. Round 1 was in Allentown, round 2 is tonight, and round 3 is tomorrow night. When we look at the Slingshots and Champ Carts, they ran a pair of rounds in Allentown, both divisions, and their final round will be tomorrow night, so we will crown those champions as well here at the historic Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. That Belfour Property Restoration Championship for the TQ Midgets is known as the TC Cup for Ted Christopher. Teddy Christopher, the 2010 and 2011 champion of indoor auto racing. And so it's the TC Cup. The Ted Christopher Cup is what the drivers race for on the Belfour Property Restoration Championship Series. And again, tonight is round number 2, tomorrow night for the TQs, and tomorrow night is round number 3, the final round of the 3-race series here in January of 2023. Like the cars are in the staging area. Just a couple of things. We got a couple officials walking around. Charlie Brown checking out things over in turn number 2. One of our long-time and great officials. Charlie also the voice at Dover Motor Speedway. Long time was the announcer at Delaware International, but he retired out of that gig. And still does the Dover stuff, and one of our great officials here at Indoor Auto Racing. Great group of men and women who travel this tour and put on these racing events and set up the arena, officiate and run the races, and then tear down the arena when it's all done. I think we're moments away here from the Champ Carts getting ready to go. Just a couple of finishing touches being put on things, making sure we have the proper order of the 45 Champ Carts that are here in attendance tonight. One of the big topics of conversation over the course of this weekend was last year. If you were here last year, you remember as we were settling into Friday night, we were settling into a blizzard. The races must go on. They did. I don't remember what it was on Saturday morning, but there was a ton of snow here. Snowed into the middle of the day, and we came right back Saturday night, where Tim Buckwalter would be crowned the 2022 Gamblers Classic champion. No blizzard this year. No blizzard. It's a little bit warmer, a little bit nicer. We'll see the boardwalk in the morning. We couldn't say that last year on Saturday morning. When we think about the great TQ racing that we've had here over the years, the Belfort Property Restoration TQ division, Eric Rudolph, who has entered here tonight, is the driver with the most wins. Three of Eric's wins are here at Atlantic City. He's a three-time Gamblers Classic champion, 2012, 2015, and 2017, but he is the overall leader in race wins with 9 TQ wins. Ryan Flores, with 6 wins, is second on that list. Tied for third on the list, it's quite the duo. The late Ted Christopher has 5, and with his win at Allentown earlier this year, Anthony Cecily tied the great Ted Christopher now with 5 wins. Andy J stands alone 5th with 4 wins. We've got a number of drivers that have a pair of wins, and this is a who's who of racing. Mike Lichty, Stuart Friesen, Justin Bonsignor, Lou Ciccone Jr., Joey Payne, and lone race winners, Mike Isles, Mike Stefanik. How about that one? NASCAR Hall of Famer, Anthony Payne, the straight shooter, Scott Kruger, Matt Janisch, Mike Titeback, Andy McElrath, Jeff Hetzler. Yeah, that Jeff Hetzler. And Timmy B. Tim Buckwalter picked up the win last year here at Atlantic City. So it's a very impressive list of drivers, and that's kind of the beauty of TQ racing, is it brings drivers from all forms of racing. You've got Eric Rudolph atop that list. He's a great dirt modified racer from up in western New York. You've got Ryan Flores, is a crew member, tire changer for Penske Racing from down in Huntersville, North Carolina. Anthony Cecily, great modified racer over at Wall Stadium, is going to run some tour races this year as well. Picked up the win in the summer heat race last year out at Wall Stadium. Andy J, ARCA Series, runs his modified up on the asphalt in western New York and the TQ racing. Then when you look at that list, Justin Bonsignor, a multi-time NASCAR wheel and modified champion, Stuart Friesen, great dirt modified and NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Then you got legends like Lou Ciccone Jr. and Joey Payne. TQ Racing, very, very healthy, hot and heavy, and we're glad you joined us here at the Boardwalk Hall and joining us here on our pay-per-view live look-in. First group out for the Champ Carts, Todd Crenshaw in the number 11, Nick Sandone in the NS3, and Braden Mazervy in the 5S. And again, a 3-lap qualifying run for these Champ Cart racers. Brendan Hines in the NS3. It's Dylan Feltman. There we go in the 11. Something about that didn't seem right. I was looking at my live scoring and second group out onto the speedway. The number 37, or 97 that is. Gary Bazowski, Zach Mead in the 16, and Dustin Degler in the 47. Dylan Feltman is still the fastest driver. Dustin Degler jumps up to second in that red and yellow number 47 car. Now Zach Mead in the 16 car jumps up to the second spot. Zach Mead going to be second. Degler is going to be third. Dylan Feltman is still the quick time. The 60 of DJ Shaw, great racing lineage there with his dad, Dale Shaw. Adam Jocelyn in the 83 ME, and the number 33 of Chris Natoli in the number 33. So, got a yellow flag out. Apparently a problem on the number 60 of DJ Shaw. The Dale Shaw race car sponsor, number 60, going to get pushed back to the pit area. Back up to speed now, the other two drivers in this group. Adam Jocelyn in the 83 ME and Chris Natoli in the 33. Get the green flag, so here we go. 3-lap qualifying run for the Champ Karts. This will take us through 9 drivers of 45 that are entered in. Natoli jumps up to second fastest in that 33. He's looking good on that lap. Chris Natoli, second fastest. Oh, he got a whole handful of steering wheel off from turn number 2. Car bounced around a little bit. We'll see how that impacts the lap. And Natoli, second lap was fastest. That's going to put him second overall. So Dylan Feltman, Chris Natoli, and Zach Mead, your front 3. Again, 8 will lock in to tomorrow night's A-Main. 8 will lock into tomorrow night's A-Main. The number 27 is Stephen Beatty, Stephen Beatty. The 44 CT of Nick Fraulino. And the 119 of Dalton Rivera. Stephen Beatty from up in the Conway, New Hampshire area, and that number 27. Great racer. Great family comes down here. He's got his wife alongside, and his daughter is here. His daughter's trying to take the steering wheel from Beatty. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Stephen Beatty goes fast time. Stephen Beatty goes to the top of the speed charts, 9.539. Beatty is quick. Dylan Feltman is second. Nick Fraulino is third. So Beatty is the quick time right now. Here's the number 62 of Brandon Rudsick. Brandon Rudsick in the 62. The 28 is Zach Asklar, and the 28D is Preston DeMello. Got a pair of 28s out in this one. We'll see how they fare. Dylan Rudsick in the 62 goes to the top. Preston DeMello jumps up to second spot. Rudsick hangs on to that top spot. Beatty is second. DeMello is third. Now Zach Asklar jumps up to third. Checkered flag is out. We'll see how these final couple drivers. Preston DeMello jumps up to second. So Brandon Rudsick, Preston DeMello, Stephen Beatty, Zach Asklar, Dylan Feltman, your top 5. The 24 of Ryan Borges, the 51 of John Berger. 2 cars in this group. Green lights are on as they make their way around. Borges jumps up to 6th fastest. Berger is 8th fastest. White flag is out. Borges going to stay 6th fastest with his lap. We'll see where Berger jumps up a little bit up to the 6th spot now, bumping Borges back to 7th. Here we go. Next group rolling out on the speedway, the 14th of Thomas Radavoy, the number 4 of Glenn Meisenhelder, and the number 8 of Max Pfeiffer. Nearing the halfway point, this is group 7 of 15. So 45 drivers have entered. See if these drivers, Thomas Radavoy, 9th fastest, Glenn Meisenhelder, 10th fastest. Max Pfeiffer that is, goes up to 6th fastest. Pfeiffer going to be 6th fastest in that group. The number 180 is Alyssa Vanderpool. There's the 68 of Ryan Kendall. So only 2 drivers in this group. making the call. They're all shooting at Brandon Rutzick's lap of 9.436. 9.436. Preston DeMello is second. Stephen Beatty is third. Well, Ryan Kendall jumps up to the second spot in that number 68 card. Here he is off turn number 4. He's still on it. We'll see if he can go quicker. And he does not, but he's second fastest on lap number 2. Ryan Kendall jumps in behind Brandon Rutzick. Preston DeMello is third. Stephen Beatty is fourth. Zach Asklar is fifth. Coming up onto the speedway, group number 9 slated to roll. The Champ Carts always put on a show when we come to Atlantic City. Expect nonetheless here this week as they really get around this racetrack. They always do such an awesome job. Some great racers in these carts. And they're firing the next batch off in the chute that goes back to the garage area. Here we go. '05 of Gabby Olander, the number 22 of James Schutz. Well, we'll see how they go. White flag is out. That's a 00 is Cole Nybert. Cole Nybert in the 00 out on the racetrack. Beautiful car. It's a little tough to make out the number, but the cart looks spectacular. Brandon Rutzick remains atop. Ryan Kendall, Preston DeMello, Stephen Beatty, and Zach Asklar. Group number 10 going to roll to the track next. Group number 10. Of course, a lot of our partners, you can see them listed around the racetrack. VP Racing Fuels. It's the Indoor Auto Racing Championship, fueled by VP Racing Fuels. Hoosier Racing Tires, Racing Electronics, the official radio communication provider for indoor auto racing. Action Track USA. Bob Hilbert Sportswear, another one of the great partners. So many people do so many neat things getting involved here with indoor auto racing. Joseph Mingioa in the number 5. Here's the 171 of Quentin Graham Jr. Quentin Graham Jr. So only 2 drivers in this one as well. We'll see if anyone can go up there and mess up Brandon Rutzick's night. Brandon Rutzick, and Joseph Minjoa does it. Quick time in that number 5, 9.410. Here he comes down to the stripe. Not faster, but he's still quick from that lap number 1. He's on the hammer into turn number 3. Checkered flag is out. And Quentin Graham jumps up top in the 171. Quentin Graham, 9.406, 4 one-thousandths of a second faster for Quentin Graham over Joseph Minjoa. Next up onto the speedway, will be group number 11 of 15, so we are getting down to it. Quentin Graham is the fastest. Joseph Minjoa, I guess it is second fastest. Brandon Rusek is third. Ryan Kendall, Preston DeMello, Sixth fastest is Stephen Beatty. Zach Asklar is second fastest. Alyssa Vanderpool hangs on to that 8th spot, but she got some bullets to dodge if she's going to hang on to one of those 8 transfer spots. Max Pfeiffer is 9th, and Dylan Feltman round out your top 10. Again, 7:30 start time tonight here at the Boardwalk Hall. 7:30 start time here. Grandstands are opening in just a few moments. About 14 minutes from now, the grandstands will open. Fans will start to file in. And those of you on DirtTrackDigest.tv, give you a chance after this Facebook Live session to go make yourself some food, grab yourself a cold drink. And 7:30, Dirt Track Digest is live. $64.99, not one but 2 nights of racing action here from Atlantic City, the famed Boardwalk Hall. Firing some carts off in there. Mike Perry is going to be first up. Mike picked up the win Friday night in Allentown. Round number 1 for the Champ Carts. 54 is Tyler Catalano. And the 1B is Austin Brengel. Austin Brengel in the 1B. Didn't see Tyler Catalano able to make it out in his allotted group. Got one stop down here on the back straightaway, the number 26 cart of Mike Perry, as the tumble here on the turn number 2 side. Going to get that car removed. The number 1B of Austin Brengel. Wild ride there. He's tore up his race car. A lot of right side damage. So the crew pushing the Brengel car down here into the inside of the speedway. Mike Perry going to get at least one more lap. I believe he's going to get one more lap. Get up to speed and see how it goes. Mike was the winner at Allentown on Friday night, kicking off the championship series. And here he is up to speed now. We'll see what Mike Perry can do as he brings it down. Warren Alston gives him the green flag, and Mike Perry, one of the top drivers in this Champ Kart business. Here he is into turn number 3, off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. And Mike Perry not going to be happy with that one at all, as he's well back into the field. 25th fastest. Coming out onto the speedway next, the number 44, Dominic Roselli. The 01 of Dylan Dismore, and the 81 of Owen Bird. Had a good chance to hang out with Dominic Roselli and his father, Dominic Roselli. Dom Roselli, longtime racer at Macatech Speedway up in northeast corner of Pennsylvania, Orange County Fairgrounds. Accord. It's good to see Dom and his boy out here racing in the Champ Karts. Having a good time, and going to need to pick up the pace just a little bit, though, on it, I believe. Yeah, Roselli's going to be 26th fastest. Bird's going to be 28th fastest. So got some work to do, that's for sure. Next group going to come out of the Speedway, the number 12 of John Keister. John Keister in the number 12. There's the 97, or the 112 of Chase Keister, that is. The 112 of Chase Keister. The 97 is Dan Kupazinski from up in upstate New York. Dan Kupazinski from up in upstate New York. Again, top 8 will transfer in, so we're getting close to start to lock some people in for tomorrow night's A-Main. Dylan Feltman is the fastest. Brandon Hines is second. Gary Bazowski is third. So still has Feltman is fastest. Hines is second. We're down to 6 carts left. 6 carts left to take time. There might be some stragglers that get a lap at the end. That explains it. Dylan Dismore is the fastest driver. Had the wrong setting on my race monitor. Dylan Dismore is the fastest. Owen Bird is second fastest. Quentin Graham is third. Joseph Minjoa is fourth. Brandon Rutsick's fifth. Mike Perry is sixth. Ryan Kelly is seventh. And Preston DeMello is eighth. Mash the right buttons, you get the right results. John Keister in the number 12. Logan Christofoli in the 88 and the 505 of Seth Whitley out on the racetrack. We'll see who can knock who out of those top 8 spots. Keister jumps up to 7th spot. Christofoli jumps up to 2nd. That should probably lock Christofoli in. And Keister now up to 3rd. So we're down to 3 more carts, and then we'll see who's left as far as the 3 more carts. We'll see who's left as far as the stragglers that missed their place in line. The number 193, there's Missy Boots, picked up the win up at Syracuse. The 80 of TJ Reed, and the number 98 of Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown was the winner up at Allentown. So let's see who does what. This is the fastest 3 from practice earlier today. One would think they might jump up there a little bit. Dylan Dismore is the time that they're all shooting for. Logan Christofoli here. Tyler Brown jumps up to 3rd. Tyler Brown up to 3rd in that 98. Missy Boots to 9th. She's 1 spot out right now. She needs to gas it up down to the checkered flag. Not able to do it. And Tyler Brown goes quick time. Tyler Brown the fastest, 9.270. So right now we have Tyler Brown, Dylan Dismore, Logan Christofoli, John Keister, Owen Bird, Quentin Graham Jr., Joseph Minjoa, and Brandon Rutzick are your top 8. But I believe there's at least one that gets 1 lap. And there's a couple of them, we'll see. There's a few of them, and they missed their spot. There's at least 2 over there in the chute right now that we can see that are going to get 1 lap. So we'll see if anyone can knock anyone out of those top 8. Right now, Brandon Rutzick is the driver on the hot seat. The number 36 cart up on the racetrack is Caitlin Gata. Caitlin Gata in the 36. Gabby Olander in the 05. And Tyler Catalano in the 54. Wondered where Tyler Catalano got to. In the 54, there's their lap. And none of them able to bump up. We'll see what, here they come down to the checkered. None of them able to bump up at all. And that may do it. Looking to the chute, I don't think that is it. No more cars over there. So Tyler Brown is quick. Dylan Dismore second. Logan Christofoli is third. John Keister is 4th. Owen Bird is 5th. Quentin Graham is 6th. Joseph Minjoya is 7th. And Brandon Russick is 8th. Those drivers are locked in to tomorrow night's A main event. The rest will be out later tonight in qualifiers. And that does it for time trials. Great session of time trials for the TQs. Great session for the Slingshots, for the Dirt 600s, and for the Champ Carts. And what a time we have had here this afternoon at Boardwalk Hall. Those of you here in the facilities, the next action on track is National Anthem is at 7:25, racing at 7:30. So that is our next activity. Grandstands are opening here in about 5 minutes, so we will have fans making their way into the arena. Those of you joining us on our Facebook Live, that is going to bring a wrap to that. We appreciate you joining us and spending a little time here on our Facebook Live for indoor auto racing. Again, DirtTrackDigest.tv, DirtTrackDigest.tv, $64.99 both nights of racing, and that starts at 7:30 tonight. I'm Steve Post from the Motor Racing Network and Wing Nation. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us here at Boardwalk Hall, and thank you those joining us on Facebook Live with our live look in. Again, DirtTrackDigest.tv is where you go for tonight's racing action.